Hi everyone, I'm Graham from Recon Games, and in this video I'm going to be demonstrating some basic gameplay of O200 hours. Now we're going to be running through at least the start of mission 1, the basic rules, which is called Hunted. So working through the mission, we start with recruitment. Now for this I've cut down things very slightly, reduced the numbers of troops. So these aren't technically legal armies because they don't have enough paired troopers, but we won't worry about that. So we've got the attacking force, SAS officer, SAS troopers, a pair and a single trooper, and then the defending force, we've got a HERE officer, a pair of sentries and 2 single sentries. So next step is to prepare the tokens. So we've got them already here. Each character has 2 character tokens and the troopers each have 1 trooper token. Nice and simple. Plus we have the 3 time tokens. So we're going to put all of those into the bag. Mission 1 is called Hunted. A small attacking force has been spotted as they parachute into enemy territory. The defenders are hunting for them and stand in the way of reaching their rendezvous point. So because of this mission doesn't use patrol routes and the patrol route action that you use in all the other missions. It also means we start with the alarm raised. So there's no levels of calm and then suspicious that you get in other games. We start straight away with the alarm raised, so immediately that gives certain bonuses to the defender. We have our battlefield set up, and next is deployment. So the attacker has chosen this edge over here and placed down 2 escape markers. That's where he's trying to get to with the attacking force, and the defenders have deployed on their half of the table. The attackers start off the table and are going to move on when they start to draw action tokens. The attacker's mission is to move across the table and get at least 3 fighters off the other side, and the defenders are simply trying to stop them. We start the turn by drawing a token out of the bag, and in O200 hours the defender draws first each turn. So we've drawn a trooper token, so the defending player chooses which of his troopers to place it on. So he could use any of his troops except for the officer. So let's go ahead and give it to this sentry here. There are no attackers on the table yet, so the sentry is going to make a maneuver action. Now defenders, we're not using patrol routes and patrol route actions in this game, so defenders will either be using a roving patrol or an advance. And you only use an advance if there's a detected enemy within 15 inches, so the only choice left is a roving patrol. A roving patrol action uses 1 of each dice, and in this particular mission the alarm has already been raised, so that gives you 1 further white dice as a bonus. Now these are all chevrons, but we look at the sentry's recruitment card, and for a roving patrol you're using the react ability, which is the wavy line there, and you can see his stat is 1, so he's scored 1 success. The 2 and the 3 chevrons are too high, so that means he's going to turn in the direction of that arrow and move 4 inches. Takes him to about there. And we just leave the token there with him to show that he's acted. You can put them on the board if you want to be a bit more tidy, but personally I prefer to leave them on the table. Next, the attacking player draws a token. And we've got a character token this time. So the SAS player has to put this onto one of their characters, and in this case we've only got one, so he's going to bring on the SAS officer. Now the attackers have a choice between a sneak action and an advance action. Again, you can only do an advance if there's a detected enemy within 15, so in this case his only option is to sneak. The sneak action again uses one of each coloured dice, and if there are no enemies nearby who can see you where you start the action, then you'll get another parade dice, making you a little more sneaky. So I place the model just off the edge of the table where I want him to come on, and then roll the dice. Now in a sneak action, you move 4 plus 1 inch for each success you rolled. And again, we'll look at the SAS officer's recruitment card, and the ability we're using is react again, the wavy line, and his stat is 2. So from this roll we've got 1 success. So we can move up to 5, make it up to about here, just behind the wall. We also rolled a couple of medals. Now medals allow you to do something special in addition to the main action, and it depends on which action you're doing. In a sneak action, you get to do a recon roll and see if you can spot someone as you're moving forward. The nearest enemy you can see is the officer, so he's going to see if you can spot him. Recon roll is just a simple 2 dice, and he needs 1 success using his smarts ability. Now the smarts is the binoculars icon, and his score is 3. He's good at this, which is lucky because he rolled a 3, which is exactly what he needed. So he spotted the officer over there, and that means the officer's now been detected, and we put a token next to him. Okay, the Germans have drawn out another trooper token, so we'll use that on the pair of sentries here. Pairs work as a single unit. You simply choose one of them to focus on for the action you're making, and the other guy in the pair just follows behind and stays within 2 inches. And you do all the measuring and rolling focused on the main guy that you chose. So we'll just stick with the guy in the front there. Now again, they're going to have to do a roving patrol. There's nothing else for them to do. So again, they have the basic 2 dice plus 1 because the alarm's been raised. Okay, and they've got 1 success, but the arrow is pointing over in that direction, so that's where they're going. 4 inches that way. You take off, you knock off 1 inch if you're climbing over a wall. So it's 3 inches in that direction. And his friend just follows along with him. The attackers have drawn a trooper token, so I'm going to bring on my pair of SAS troopers. Again, I just place them at the side of the table where they're going to come on. So again, they're going to do a sneak action. They would have the choice to do an advance action because there's a detected enemy who I think is just about within 15 over there, but they don't want to give away their position at this point, so they're going to try a sneak action again. So again, 2 dice. However, this time they are in line of sight of this sentry here, so they don't get the bonus. So we have 1 success, so they can go 4 inches plus 1, and again a medal. So move them first. We'll focus on this front guy again, so we'll just move around. So it's just here. And the medal gives us a chance to do a recon again, so see if we can spot this sentry right in front of us. But they failed. They rolled a medal and a 3, so that's not enough. So they haven't managed to spot that sentry. Too busy sneaking along. The defenders have drawn a time token. Now in the full game, this would allow them to draw an event card, but for mission 1, we're not worrying about that. Okay, now the attackers have drawn the next time token. That would normally allow them to draw an order card, but again, we're not using that in this game. Now remember, when the last time token comes out, the third one, the turn is over. The Germans draw a character token, which has to go on their officer over here. Again, there's no detected enemies yet, so he's still doing a roving patrol, 1 of each dice, plus the extra because the alarm's been raised. Okay, interesting. Now, he's rolled 2 successes. So in this case, he can choose which direction to go. And then, which is really good result for him, he's going to be able to use the medal result to do a recon roll after he's moved. So he's going to use this dice, turn in that direction, move 4 inches over to here, and then he's got a line of sight through to the SAS pair down here. So you can now take a recon roll, see if you can spot them. So the recon roll is just a simple 1 of each dice. However, if the people you're trying to spot are covert and in cover, which is true in this case, then you lose a dice and just go with the white dice. Okay. However, with smarts of 3, he's still succeeded, so he's spotted these guys over here. Bad news for the SAS. They get an alert token placed. And don't forget that the alert tokens stay with models as they move. And we'll move his action token there as well, so we know that he's acted. Next, the attackers have drawn another trooper token, so they can bring on their last guy. Over at the back here. Again, he doesn't get any bonus dice because this sentry is looking his way. Right. So the SAS trooper has rolled an alert symbol, which means he's going to give away his position, but he's also rolled a medal, and one of the medal effects on a sneak action is to freeze. So this gives him a chance to make a simple react test, which is 1 of each dice, and if he passes, he can negate that, but it does mean he can't move at all, so he's still right over there at the edge of the table. So let's see how we do. Yeah, he's passed that, so he's frozen in pace and managed to not give away his position just yet. Okay, next, the defender's drawn another trooper token. He's only got this sentry left, so we'll give it to him. So first thing to check now, we've got some detected enemies around. Are they within 15 inches? If they are, then he would have to advance towards them. See, now he's just out, so he's still doing his roving patrol. He's not realised that there's something going on this side of the battlefield. He just carries on doing his thing over there. Okay, hasn't rolled any successes, so he just carries on going the way he's facing. So as it happens, that's straight towards the SAS trooper. Bad news for him. He also got a medal, so he'd be able to do a recon roll, but actually in this case, it's not necessary. If you get close enough, if the defender gets close enough to an enemy, then he's going to spot him automatically. So if you're in cover, then you have to be within 2, but with a clear view that we've got here, then you just need to be in 6. So he has spotted the enemy attacker, and that's called being under close watch. And of course, the SAS trooper can also see the sentry, so he has now been detected as well. Okay, next the attacker's drawn. They've drawn a character token. It's got to go on the officer. He's going to carry on trying to stay sneaky. No one's looking in his direction with a line of sight, so he still gets the bonus dice. And he's still being nice and stealthy. 2 successes mean he can move up to 6 inches. With a sneak, you can go in any direction. So, in fact, let's bring him up to here. And next, the defenders have drawn their last character token. This has got to go on their officer. Now, let's just look at this carefully. You can't do a roving patrol because there's certainly enemies within 15. So he could either advance directly towards one of them. It would be the nearest unless he makes a smarts test. Or he can choose to shoot if he's in range. So this guy's out in the open, so he's got a decent chance. He's got a pistol, which is range 10, so he's in range. So with the shoot move, you can move 2 inches before you fire. So maybe he'll just get into a little bit of cover here and take a shot at the trooper. First of all, we're using the aim stat, not surprisingly, and his stat is 2 for this. And we look at the specific weapon, and that tells us how many dice we're using. So for a pistol, it's 2 white dice. Now, shooting, you often get some other bonuses. So if the shooting fighter is currently covert, i.e. he hasn't got an alert marker, then you'd get an extra grey dice, but he has got an alert marker, so that doesn't count. If you're attacking someone from behind, then you get another bonus dice, but again, that doesn't count. And if you have a clear view, if there's nothing in the way, then you get a bonus white dice. And because he's touching this bit of terrain, that doesn't block him, so he has got a clear view, he gets a bonus. So we roll those, and because as I said, his aim was 2, so we're looking for 2s. Or 1s as well. So first of all, let's do this. He's got an alert. So if he wasn't already detected, he would get an alert token. As he's already got one, the token goes on the nearest friend within 6. So now this guy has suffered for all the noise that he's made. We've also got a medal. With shooting, the medals refer to the specific characteristics of the different weapons. So a pistol has a double tap medal effect, which is if there is exactly 1 success, you can re-roll that medal dice. So we have got exactly 1 success. So we can do a re-roll, and yes, that's great. We've got a second shot. So we've got 2 accurate shots. Next, the SAS trooper would normally get a chance to duck, but he needs an action left to do that. He hasn't got any left. If he did, he'd be able to take one out of the bag and roll to try and evade some of these shots. He'd also get to duck if he was in cover. If you're in cover, you get to do that duck for free without using up an action token, but again that doesn't apply, so we're going straight on to the wound roll and see how badly he's been injured. So now for the wound roll, we use the strength of the weapon. For a pistol that's 1, so we're looking for more ones like this. We didn't get any, so we haven't taken the trooper out, we haven't killed him, but he suffered 2 light wounds. So because the trooper's been nicked by these 2 bullets, he now has to take a trauma test to see if he's overwhelmed by blood loss or whether he guts it out and carries on. So this is a guts test. His guts value is 1. Normally this would be 1 of each dice, but as he was hit twice and not once, he loses that one. It's just a single white dice. And he needs to pass just a single success. So we're looking for a 1, but he's failed. So he suffers trauma, and what that means is you flip the action counter over to the red side, and that counter won't go back into the bag at the end of the turn, effectively meaning he's going to lose an action next turn. Right, and the last token in the bag is the 3rd time token, and that ends the turn. And so the turn's ended, we put all the tokens, all the action tokens back in. The alert tokens stay on the table. And remember that the token that was flipped over to the red side doesn't go back in the bag, but it just flips back to white. So turn 2 starts with the defender as always, and they've drawn a trooper token. We're going to activate this sentry here, and he's going to try a shoot action. He's going to shoot at the nearest detected enemy, which is these guys over here. He doesn't know that this character, this SAS officer, is there, so he can't react to him. So he's going to move this way, move up to 2, and then unload with his SMG. So the SMG gets 3 dice as basic. Again, just run through the bonuses. If the shooter is covert, you get a bonus. Nope, he's not. If you're attacking in the back, that doesn't count either. And if you have a clear view, well, no, he doesn't, because they're in cover, so no bonuses for him, but he's still got the 3 dice. Oh dear, that's 3 big hits straight away. Great roll. However, the SAS get a chance to duck because they're in cover. They don't need to take an action token out. They get the duck for free, and 2 successes for them means they've managed to negate 2 of those hits, which is a pretty good result. Couldn't ask for more, but 1 has still gone through. They've been hit once. An SMG is strength 1, so we're looking for 1s on the roll, and yes, he's got 1. So that first trooper out of the pair has been taken out of the game. Now when a pair is taken out, the remainder still keeps the action token, and he has to take a trauma test, because obviously it's not very nice seeing your mate gunned down next to you. So trauma test goes on his gut score, which is 1, and it's just a basic test, 1 of each dice. Needs 1 success to pass. No, he's failed, so he is now traumatized by the sight of his poor friend. Now, if the fighter hasn't used an action yet, which is called ready, then he just takes an action out of the bag and that is used up for him. If he'd already got that token out and used it, then it would flip to the red side. The attackers have drawn a character token, so
that's going to go to the officer here, and he's close enough to attack this sentry in hand-to-hand. So we're going to do a fight action now. So fight action, you can move up to 4, and you just need to try and get within 2 inches of the target you're trying to attack. So that's fine for him, plenty of distance. So fight action, the SAS have combat knives, and a combat knife gives you 1 of each dice as basic, so it's a bit more stealthy than using a gun. And again, let's go through the bonuses. It's the same bonuses as for shooting. If the fighter is covert, yes he is, he gets an extra grey dice. If he's attacking from behind, yes he is, gets another grey dice. And if he had a clear view to the target from the start of the action, well, he was touching this terrain here, so he can ignore that. So yes, he had a clear view, so that gives him another white dice. So as you can see, a stealthy attack from behind can be quite devastating. Okay, right. So first of all, we have an alert, but we also have a stealth, so they just cancel each other out. We don't have to worry about those. And let's just check his stats is 2. We're using the brawn for hand-to-hand. So unfortunately, out of all those dice, it's only rolled 1 hit. The sentry would then, if he had an action left, he'd be able to defend. Unfortunately, he doesn't. So we just move straight onto the wound roll. And combat knife is strength 1. We had 1 hit, so we're looking for a 1. And he's done it. So he's taken out this sentry. So the sentry, in this case, is not a pair, so his action token will come out of the game at this point. And that alert token can come off. Okay, next the defender's drawn a trooper token. The defender would probably have preferred to be able to move his officer out of danger here, but he doesn't have that option. He's got to assign this to one of the troopers. So we could go for this guy and take another shot, but as the trooper over there has already got his action token out, then that's not a priority at the moment. So let's put it on these guys, trying to get them into the action. So they are now definitely within 15 of this detected enemy over here. So they can't do a roving patrol because they're too close. And they don't have a line of sight to him because this little hut is in the way. So they will have to do an advance in his direction. So the advance is 2 dice plus 1 because the alarm's been raised. And they go, we use the brawn stat for the advance action because they're legging it as fast as they can, and they're moving 4 inches plus 2 for each success. So that would be 8, and they just lose 1 for jumping over the wall. So 7 inches directly towards that guy that they know is hiding over there. Next, the attackers draw a time token. That to one side. Back to the defenders. Character token, right. So let's see what the officer can do. He still doesn't know that the SAS officer is right next to him. So the closest enemy that he knows about is this one over here. Let's say I would think he would probably try and shoot. He can move 2 inches, so maybe he could back off a bit and try and get out of range of the danger he's in. His pistol is 2. He's not covert. He's not attacking from behind, and he doesn't have a clear view, so it's just the 2 dice. And he has got aim 2, so 1 hit. The trooper down here gets his duck action for free because he's in cover. And yes, he's passed that. He negates the hit. He also got a stealth roll, so he has actually managed to hide back into the shadows and lose that alert token. Next, the attacker's drawn a trooper token. Now, the attacker doesn't have any troopers left to act. Both of these have already got their action tokens out. So in this case, he has to pass this token over to the opponent and the defender gets to use it instead. So the defender puts it on this guy and he can act. So this sentry is going to simply shoot at the guy right in front of him. Fairly simple. Might back off a little bit. He can move 2. He's got a rifle, so a rifle starts with just a single shot. It's not covert, he's not attacking from behind, but he does have a clear view, so he gets 1 bonus. Okay, so we've got an alert. Well, he's already been detected. If there were any friends within 6 inches, then we'd put the token onto them instead, but there aren't, so we don't have to worry about that. He has got 1 hit. The trooper has already got his action out, so doesn't get a chance to duck. So we move on to the wound roll. Our rifle is strength 2, so we only need 1 or 2 chevrons on here. Yeah, so we got a kill. He's taken that guy out. Not looking good for the SAS now. The alert token comes off, the action token stays out of the bag. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. We've played through pretty much 2 turns. We've seen the SAS doing some sneaking around. We've seen the defenders doing their patrol actions over here, as well as some advances. And that way the defender's move is the key thing to get your head around, because that's what really makes this game work. And then we've seen the shooting as well as a fight and looked at how attacking from behind can be a big advantage, and how you can use medals to get special advantages as well. More vids still to come. Thanks for watching.